We were confronted with the problem that Donald Trump says things constantly that are false and misleading.
So we decided to start a database on the Washington Post website cataloging all of President Trump's false or misleading claims.
And we're still paying for the consequence of that ambition.
President Trump has crossed 10,000 false and misleading claims.
Wow.
To me, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago when he crossed 10,000.
It took us 828 days to get to 10,000, and we're already up to 20,000. $10,000 claims was basically April 2019. And so since then, we've had controversy over Ukraine and the impeachment trial.
Once the vote ended in the Senate and they acquitted Trump, we started having the coronavirus pandemic rear its head.
And then, of course, in the last month, we've seen worldwide protests over the death of George Floyd.
It's almost like another world.
Most modern presidents have one big false or misleading claim that is inextricably linked to their time in office.
Well, now you're going to hear the facts from a White House source, and you know my name.
Some are more memorable than others.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
That the Iraqi regime continues to possess and conceal some of the most lethal weapons ever devised.
They'll see that if Americans like their doctor, they will keep their doctor. And if you like your insurance plan, you will keep it.
I've already started building the wall. We've built large sections.
But President Trump doesn't just have one. There are more than 400 claims he has repeated more than 3 times since taking office. And some of those he's made literally hundreds of times.
We have the greatest economy ever. We had the greatest economy in the world, in the history of the world. We have the greatest economy in the in the history of the world. No country had anywhere near us. We had the best economy anywhere in the world by far.
There have been 4 or 5 presidents who have presided over, greater periods of economic growth.
And no matter how you slice it, in terms of unemployment rates or gross domestic product growth, they were better than under Trump.
You have to see these trade deals. We were losing a fortune. Hundreds of billions of dollars. We lost $500 billion. 300, 400, $500 billion a year. Billion! And for years, we were losing a tremendous amount of money. We're losing a lot of money.
You don't lose money on trade. You don't gain money on trade.
You don't make or lose money on trade. It's not like a barter situation.
It's the biggest reduction in taxes in the history of this country. It's the biggest tax cut in American history. This is the largest tax cut in the history of our country. The biggest tax cut, biggest reform of all time.
Obama has still a greater claim to passing a bigger tax cut than Trump, when he was president.
Trump's tax cut ranks 8th in the last 100 years.
But these claims don't happen in a vacuum. What Trump says fluctuates based on what's happening in the news. As the Russia investigation picked up, so did the number of false and misleading claims. When the government shut down over funding for a border wall, the rate of false claims about immigration skyrocketed. Now he's made more claims about the coronavirus than education, guns, and terrorism combined. The rate of claims has increased the further the president has gotten into his first term, making more claims in his 3rd year than his first 2 combined. We're doing this in part for the historical record. It's such an unusual situation to have a president who's constantly saying so many things that are false and misleading.
We filled up a whole book.
So he's like a long distance runner. He just keeps going.
And these are only the top falsehoods. You would need a multi-volume series, an encyclopedia to fill all 20,000.
Oh, believe me, if it's off by 0.01%, it's like I end up getting Pinocchios, right? Because, they say, I'd like to give him a Pinocchio, 4 Pinocchios.